You straight up cuckooed that dude, bro. Oh my God.
You've got all your Charger gear on because
I look good. I got big energy every day. Let's go!
And he is dicked.
Blind squirrel finds a nut every once in a while.
That's right.
You have to love what you're seeing on tape if you're a Chargers fan, especially for the future with Justin Herbert.
On the move and throws and touchdown.
Players, coaches, staff, fans, together we can create something truly special.
Stay tuned for some good content.
Well, hello, all of you wonderful people out there. You guys are great. All right?
If you're listening to this on a Tuesday after this L,
you're
rock
awesome.
on. You guys,
you're just
are
the
awesome.
best. Yeah,
We appreciate you.
God bless you. Welcome back, folks, to the Charger Chat. I'm your co-host, Will Dugson, with my buddies, Kev, Hug, and Duggan.
I'm sad right now, but I'm going to get better by the time we're done with this episode.
He's going to get better, folks. And let's not forget Kyle, the coach, Duggan.
This is really a therapy triangle for us, I think,
is.
on
Yes.
these L's. And I also wanted to point out my attire choice was not by accident. I'm going to speak this into existence.
There you go.
This
I
is
love
an
it.
AFC West championship shirt. It's just to
07,
put
baby.
us back in line.
Yeah.
We still are there. We're going to get a couple W's, be back at the top, and we're going to be rolling into December.
Absolutely. That is the right
Concur.
mindset to be in. All right. Yeah, folks, it was a unfortunate loss to the Minnesota Vikings. Tough to watch, but I can only imagine it was tougher to be there. Kev, Hug, and Duggan had the pleasure to be at the game. I'm sure the first part was better than the last. So how'd it go out there in
was good.
SoFi?
It was good, man. It was like the best part of the whole day was going to Thunder Alley and
Of
meeting
course.
people and hanging out.
Of
and
course.
Senior Snappy did his squat challenge.
Good. Good. How are your legs?
So
knock that
can you
shit out. I'm not even
explain
sore.
what is it exactly? It's just
It's a kettlebell. It's just a one-arm kettlebell squat.
okay.
So you hold a kettlebell up and you do 10 squats.
Got it.
I did
Or
12,
as many as you
and I
can.
could have kept going, but I didn't want to, I wanted to really push it, but I was like in the middle of Thunder Alley, and there were like people walking by me, and I was like, okay, this is kind of awkward.
Weird
I need
flex.
like
Yeah,
I need to go off
Weird
to the side and
flex.
do this.
You know
I
what?
wanted to-
I did
Yeah.
10. You had to be an overachiever, and maybe that's what
Kevin did 12?
wrecked this game. Yeah.
Oh, I could have
Oh,
done a lot more.
I'm doing 13 on Sunday. You better believe it.
I did. I could have easily done
I
25.
might
It
double
was just
up
I
you
was
and
in the
just go
weird
24.
place.
Oh my
Well,
god.
I know Craig's going to be there at a game soon, and he's going to put up some numbers.
No,
So
I
like,
don't want to compete against Craig. Not interested.
We'll keep it within.
Not interested in that.
I'm just going to say I had good form. We'll just say that my form felt good.
Good.
I didn't embarrass my son too much, other than Daddy holding a giant metal ball over his head and squatting in the middle of a parking lot. Besides that, I was pretty good.
Was he was
Um,
he cheering for your shotgun chug?
Yeah. Yep.
He was
Yeah,
just like,
no,
go,
I was
Daddy,
actually-
chug, chug.
No, he was sitting. He was sitting in a chair next to me, chugging, eating a brownie. He would scoop his chip into a brownie and have like a brownie
Don't
chip.
lie.
So
You got
thanks
Stelly
to
with a little
Senora Snappy.
LaCroix. You popped the bottom,
apple
and he was
juice.
going with you. Yeah.
yeah, he
Capri
was
Sun.
pounding one. Yeah, but it was awesome.
Capri
Dude. Right
Sun
into-
chocolate.
yeah, smash one, bruh. But it was fantastic. Like seeing everybody, saw Bulk out again, saw a whole bunch of dudes that
good.
we interact with on a daily.
Cool.
So
Good.
it was fantastic. And when in the game, it felt good. There were parts of that game that felt really good, man.
Yeah.
Like our defense was playing well. Like in the first couple series, like it was like, oh shit, like what's happened? Like is Kenneth Murray this big of a game changer to be flying around? Because he made some good tackles
He
in those
did,
first
yeah.
couple, and they weren't able to run very well. Like we were holding them. So
Mhm.
it started off good, and then I felt like at halftime they should have been up 21 on us. They should have had 21 points, and they were only sitting there at 13. So I was talking to guys in the concourse during the time. I was like, I feel good about this. I think our offense is gonna catch fire and start getting a rhythm, because we didn't have a rhythm at all, and we did the opposite of that. Like we could barely.
did. We came out right out of the halftime and went down and
right
scored.
there, scored, and then
And I was like,
nothing.
all right, game on. And then
Here we go.
Absolute
Yeah.
after
just
that.
Just
kind
a
of fell apart.
stinker. And honestly, the defense, they had to be on the field so long. Like you can only expect these guys to do so much when
Right.
you're having to play
Absolutely.
34 minutes of football. Like
Yeah.
that's just so much to play. And
Yeah.
they were bending, not breaking at the end, beside, Campbell and not being a good matchup against Justin Jefferson, and them just throwing all over him, and him just not being at the level. That's just what it was. It's what I saw. I just wasn't at the level to guard him. They picked on him. And then we're making giant third downs, 3rd and 15. They'd get a first down. Like that wasn't normal Staley defense. So that was frustrating to watch. Like we stopped the run. We did much better at containing, getting after the quarterback. Just the run, the passing game became an issue. So it was frustrating in that sense. I didn't know what team I was watching.
Yeah, going into the half, they popped up a graphic on screen saying that the Vikings were 1-8 on third down conversions at that point in the game. So it's like, okay, we're stopping the third down. I mean, I don't know if they consider like penalties or anything like that to attribute to the third down conversion. I don't think they do. So it was just like, okay, 1-8. If they're 3rd and 15 or 3rd and 20, it's like, all right, we should be able to stop this.
It showed their average 3rd and distance was like 3rd and 10. That was like their average 3rd and what to go.
And that's why we were able to get after them. That's why we were able to start getting some pressure because we weren't in these short yardage situations.
And you can give up 7-8 yards on third down and you still get a stop.
100%.
Yeah.
So it was cool to see the defense show up, and we don't necessarily have to talk about the run defense being a liability because they held them to like 3.4 yards per carry.
103 yards total.
103 yards
that's
of
one of
total
our
rushing
better
against Dalvin
performances.
Cook,
right?
Against a
Dalvin Cook.
rushing team. Yeah,
that was good.
So you get two big things. You get that one punt return that what the hell happened? They returned it all the way back to our 30. That was a nightmare. And then just some drops, man.
We threw a pick in our own side on our own side of the field.
Weird pick, a couple weird drops, weird ball. Justin had a couple weird ball placements, like one to Cook on a first that could have been a first down that was low, and then he I think he got bumped a little bit on a screen that could have gone to the house with Austin. It was just these certain situations and circumstances that kind of just when we needed a big play, it just didn't happen.
Can't have in the NFL. Every team's so good, you have to execute on most of those plays, and we didn't. We just didn't. It seems like anytime we have 2+ drops in a game, we're not going to win. We're not going to, they're just off something. We're not going to win. And we had a ton of drops.
Well, it was also interesting. The first drop from Palmer in that, I can't remember if it was the first or second quarter. It was definitely the first half. And Palmer didn't catch that pass. Herbert looked mad.
No, I've never seen it. It's kind of nice to see
that from Herbert.
I didn't see this. I didn't watch the broadcast.
If you can rewatch it, the drop from Palmer, Herbert was yelling at somebody, and I'm assuming it was Palmer.
Yeah, it looked. The first time I watched it, it looked like he was screaming, "Catch it!" But I don't think it. I don't think that's
go to your home.
I think,
bringing it back.
I think Palmer was supposed to sit. I think he got in between zones and he was supposed to sit. And it looked like Justin underthrew him. He threw behind him, but that's because he was expecting Palmer to sit and he would just hit him and then he could turn upfield. But he kept running through, so he was frustrated at him not doing what he had anticipated.
What needed to happen? Yeah. So that was uncharacteristic to see that, and especially with it being in like the first half. This wasn't like fourth quarter frustration. This was just like immediately, like in the first half, like getting frustrated.
Man, that number 3 wide receiver is just not solid, sealed, delivered right now. It's just not what it is. We don't know. Guyton's dropping balls. We targeted him more than once. We targeted him maybe twice. He dropped one of them.
I saw him get one target and he dropped it. So that's kind of what we've come to expect from Guyton at this point, unfortunately.
Yeah. Bummer, man.
It is a bummer. It's frustrating to see the offense struggle the way that they have. I mean, again, you cannot compare games to games anymore or teams to teams. I'm stuck with the last experience that I had is when they're playing Cleveland and just throwing the ball out of control, where it was
everywhere.
just totally everywhere. Yeah, wherever they wanted, making big, deep passes. Like that's my last experience. So I've been waiting for that to happen again since that game.
My experience.
It wasn't anybody's experience since then. Like it really, they haven't had that much throwing the deep balls since that game. And I don't know why. I don't know why that's happened. I don't know what the change has been or what the issue is. I mean, looking just at the stats of this game, we had less than 200 passing yards. Like that's got to be the lowest for Herbert yet. I got to imagine. I don't know.
Not good.
I mean, it could be. I mean, less than 253 total yards. What was so frustrating is that we were still in this game. Like we were never out of this game, man. It was
like we talk about every week with Herbert, with this team, you're going to be a one possession team, like one possession game. It's going to come down. That's what's going to be frustrating.
Right.
You get a stop. We could have gone and tied that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? We could have tied it. It's just we could not get the stop at the end, and that's makes it harder, man. You get your hopes up. Like, come on, defense, let's go, and then didn't happen.
And defense had a good game. I mean, they did really well. Keeping Dalvin Cook to 103 rushing yards. I mean, not even Dalvin Cook, just the entire rushing offense to 103 yards is pretty impressive.
Yeah, that's a huge improvement from previous weeks. And you can't argue that. That is huge.
Right. They're making their adjustments. For some reason, offense regressed this week, and I don't know why. I wish I knew the reason.
They're doing some interesting stunting stuff that, like on run plays, where I literally watched one play where Joey Bosa stepped back and cut all the way down the line, and they were running to the opposite side and made the tackle like right at the line of scrimmage. So they're getting creative. They're trying to come up with ways to fix their woes, and
they are.
They work.
Well, they took chances. I saw Kenneth Murray down there on the edge several times in pass rush situations. And I mean, the defense was not. I do not think the defense was the issue.
No, not at all.
Offense. And Derwin was in the box too.
They had the ball for 36 minutes. They had the ball for 36 minutes, and you still hold them to 27 points. Like if you keep a team under 30 points, you should win a game. Like that's what the NFL is now. You score a lot of points because of the way that it's called.
Mm-hmm.
I guess we don't even need to go into officiating because I don't get. I
saw your post. You got a retweet by Mr. Lights Out
Merriman
himself.
retweeted.
That was crazy because I didn't see that. Like I didn't see that at the game. You don't get that pointed out. I saw that after the fact. That was crazy.
Yeah,
dude. And I'm not saying like they should have called it. I just don't get the rule. No one understands the rule. It's
right.
So, this is when
even when they explain
what happened.
You still don't understand it.
It's
like
still,
what was the situation? Explain the situation. Some
it was Jefferson made a catch and it was off on the sideline, and after Jefferson caught it, he was it was on the Chargers sideline. Saw Keenan Allen and threw the ball. Did that underhand toss to Keenan Allen.
Looked at him, threw the ball to him, kept looking at him as he was running back.
Right,
to the
making
field.
a statement.
That is a taunt.
Posturing in the way that they've said. Like they've mentioned posturing so many times for the taunting penalty that like. If that ain't posturing, then I'm the fucking Queen of England. Like this is just, it's
crazy,
ridiculous.
And my point is, I don't think that should be a penalty. I think that penalty should be gone. Justin Jefferson, if you want to try that crap and get knocked out the next play, power to you. I think it's fine, but don't call the other little ticky-tack stuff. Just get rid of that rule altogether,
right?
Unless it's a blatant like personal foul. Unnecessary roughness, doing something just absolutely blatant that somebody retaliates with, then you call it. But it's just let the guys play. They're
right.
They're doing everything they can to make these plays, and it's a big time play. Let them celebrate.
Yeah, to know that the taunting play came from Chris Rumpf, the guy who was like happy that there's puppies at a photo shoot. Like that's the guy that you're going to throw a taunting penalty at, Chris Rumpf. I
was surprised it was taunting. I don't know if you went back and looked at that, but
like
he literally just got engaged with the guy and he just kind of pushed him at the end of the play. Yeah, not taunting. No. If anything, you could call unnecessary roughness, but he barely hit him.
I think nowadays, instead of waving off a penalty because it was a bad call, they're like, "Oh shoot!"
Taunting.
The referee's getting a huddle,
taunting.
Like, oh man, I thought he punched him. You didn't see the punch? No, I didn't see the punch. Shoot. Well, we could just say taunting, and no one really knows. And we can just get out of this thing. All right, do it. Let's go. Taunting. Yeah, that's what it was.
It's a get out of jail free card.
That's the zebra meeting.
Get out of jail free card. Yeah, it's what it is. Like, oh, that was a real bad call, but we're going to look real dumb if we wave this off right now. It's a taunting.
Yeah, it is ridiculous. But, I mean, to sing the praises to some of these guys, hey, Ogbongbemiga
got a sack, baby.
Yeah, it was awesome. Yeah. And the fact that the announcers were able to pronounce his name correctly as opposed to the other ones that I've heard him go, ba-ba-biba, just whatever.
Yeah. Power to your research, Mark Sanchez. Way to go, dude.
Way to go, big guy.
And Larry Roundtree doing a LT jump over the line to get that was awesome, man.
Okay, yeah, all right, let's sing some other praises. The Roundtree celebration, amazing. That will be on highlight reels forever. Yeah, as well as the Austin Eckler touchdown celebration.
Grabbing
Whoever's
guitar.
idea it was to bring an inflatable guitar to a game, we need to have him on the show. We need to
Yeah,
ask him,
Well
like,
played.
what was your mindset, man?
I was
If you listen
watching,
to us or anybody knows who that is, reach out to us on Twitter. We want to
Please.
interview you.
Yes.
I was watching the game with my sons, and instantly both of my 2-year-old and my 4-year-old were up in the living room doing this.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
That was too funny. Those touchdown celebrations were just the best. And yeah, it's just a damn game. And it's any given Sunday. That's what it is. That's football. Football is going to be that way. We're in a tight AFC West team where now the Kansas City Chiefs have now just jumped into first place.
You want to
They
say
won.
KFC, didn't you?
I was. Sorry.
KFC Chiefs.
They have a coach
The
for
number
it.
2. Number 2, please.
Number 2. Yeah, so it's a crazy league, and you know what? It's best just to kind of look at the next game. But let's take a look at some of these other tidbits that came out from this game. Let's see. The Vikings entered Sunday having allowed just 10 sacks. Chargers sacked Cousins twice in the first half. So yes, Ogbongbemiga got the sack, and Joey Bosa, I think, got the strip sack. Yeah, that was awesome too. That was such a good one of those got the ball out.
They were getting really good push, interior push. Linval
Tillery
was
had
in the
a game
backfield.
finally, and Linval was playing with purpose. Yeah.
He wanted to fuck some shit up. It was
He
really
wanted to
fun
get some
watch him play.
retaliation on the Vikings for sure.
Of course. Let's see. Chris Hayrie tweeted out, Keenan Allen joined Hall of Famers Lance Allworth and Charlie Joyner as the only Chargers wide receiver to eclipse 8,000 receiving yards. Allen, 29, already has the most receptions all time by a Chargers wide receiver, 689. Congratulations.
It's cool that we're watching he will be a Charger Ring of Honor retired jersey guy. Like, as we're watching him, it's pretty fun.
Yeah.
He's in there.
Already have the most
speaking of-
receptions. That's crazy.
Speaking of Keenan Allen, did you guys see the new Yeti or Not doll
yes.
that just came out?
Love it.
Bald with the beard.
It's so cute. I love it so much.
I remember
love
talking
it.
about it, going like, I can only imagine what it would look like, and now I don't have to imagine. I can see it. It's right there.
It's even better than I had imagined. So
honestly, what's even better than her making these amazing little dolls, the little skits that she does, these little video interstitials of them, like Herbert throwing the ball to Keenan Allen catching it, and Derwin and Justin and Keenan putting their hands in and doing like the celebration high five. Like, that is awesome. Please keep making those. Those are absolutely
go
adorable.
follow Yeti or Not.
Yeti or Not,
She's
and it's
amazing.
not with a K, like tying in a knot.
Yeah.
So Yeti or Not.
Yeah.
Go look them up. It was awesome to see the Chargers obviously get Derwin his doll and seeing his
the reaction
to
then
it.
little Derwin going to actual little Derwin.
It's so
and
cute.
he's just like looking at his that was adorable.
If you're still sad about this loss, go look at the Chargers social media and just get some good feels going, because there's some great videos over there with Yeti or Not's dolls. Let's see. Chris Hayrie also mentioned Austin Eckler became the youngest running back in the common draft era since 1967 to reach 20 career receiving. This says yards, but I'm pretty sure that's touchdowns.
Touchdowns, yeah.
Because I think he's got more than 20 career receiving yards.
It's been a long day. It's been a long day. I fucked that up proper. Touchdowns, 20 touchdowns.
Well, I mean, that's been his bread and butter, is like being that multifaceted running back. And I mean, there were years, especially with Phil, that he would just be that check down running back that Phil would just toss it down to him and boom, he'd be off and running. So congrats to Mr. Eckler to being the youngest running back to reach 20 career receiving touchdowns. All right, folks, and now it's time to talk about our sponsor this week, Symbol. Symbol is the stock market for sports that allows you to profit off your sports knowledge. On Symbol, you can trade sports teams like stocks, and every time your teams win, you earn cash. Use your sports knowledge on Symbol to buy low, sell high, and earn cash payouts when your teams win. Join the 7,000 plus early adopters who have started to invest in their favorite teams. Visit www.symbol.com. That's SIMBULL.com to create a free account. And when you deposit, make sure to use the promo code ChargerChat, all one word, for a money-back guarantee. Make sure you use the promo code ChargerChat, and your deposit will have a money-back guarantee up to $500. That means even if you lose money in the first 90 days, Symbol will refund your initial deposit, no questions asked. Join Symbol and start investing and profiting from your favorite teams. All right. Well, now let's take a look at the post-game pressers. Let's start it off with Staley talking about the execution. I think our execution on offense and defense in the kicking game wasn't consistent enough to beat that team, and that's why we lost. Our guys were playing really hard, but we need to execute better. We went through some stretches there offensively where there were far too many 3-and-outs, especially in the first half. We just have to execute more consistently. It's not just our offense, it's our defense and kicking game.
It's our offense.
It is our offense, yeah.
Yeah, it's just Staley's. That's a very nice way to say our offense had too many 3-and-outs. Bull, I'm going in way too hard on the offense right now. But the defense and special teams need to play better too.
Right. We all need to play better. It's not just the offense.
The offense is just not good on Sunday. It's just the bottom line.
Right.
They're just not going downfield. I think there's this new stat where like Herbert is like ranked 27th. I saw it somewhere, ranked 27th on yards per air, like air yards. Like he's throwing it 7 yards is the average. Like this is not what he's good at. Over 20 yards, he is like the best passer in the NFL. So hopefully they figure something out because I don't like it.
Well,
I understand the idea of take what they give you, but sometimes you got to take a chance. You got a Mike Williams. You got Jalen Guyton's useless if we're going to throw 7 yards per attempt. He's just an absolute waste of space because that's not what he does. So I understand taking what they give you, but in certain situations, you just got to take a shot and see what happens. It's like that's what the Vikings did.
Right.
You know, when they went to Justin Jefferson, he was covered. Every time he was covered.
Right.
He just threw it up there and gave him a shot and he made the play.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what you would attribute that to. I mean, because Herbert was getting pressured pretty frequently. Like, I know he's usually pretty good under pressure, but like, it felt like pressure, like contained pressure, like within the pocket. Like he wasn't able to kind of like slip out to the sides very often. It felt like it was all in the pocket. So I don't know if that's necessarily right. That's just how it felt when I was watching it. And I don't know if that attributed to some of these issues that were happening on the offense. If he just didn't feel like he had the time to take a deep shot and had to try to get it out as quickly as possible. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't, but it's just, that's consistent, you know, like it's not just this week. It's just consistently, that's what our game plan is. You know what I mean? And that's what's, I think for us as Charger fans is what's frustrating is you got a guy with one of the best arms in the league, and I get playing like, again, taking what they give you, but sometimes you just gotta go take a shot. Like that's what against the Browns, against the Raiders, we had these deep shot plays that were just momentum changing, game changing plays, and we just aren't having those in these dud games like the Patriots. That was a dud game. This game was a dud game on offense. We just didn't get anything going, and we didn't take any deep shots.
Yeah. Well, even like Mike Williams being double covered, still making miraculous catches, and Justin putting the ball
against
on
the Eagles. That was against the Eagles, like a deep ball, and we won that game. We got it. I don't know. I don't know. I trust that they know what they're doing, but it doesn't. I want them to give an explanation for why the deep ball is just not even attempted.
Yeah, I mean, Herbert was 20 for 34. I mean, that's 14 missed passes or dropped balls. Like that's too many, man. Like
if everything's under 20 yards, you have to have weeks like last week where it's 34 of 38 or whatever it was. That was insane. Like the short passes, gotta complete them.
Gotta complete them.
And I think that the numbers on him this week are a little skewed because he had a couple big passes that were negated by penalty that like we accepted the penalty and it didn't count towards his passing yards. I think that happened twice. It was like a good amount of yards. So there is, you can pick apart and say what you want with these stats and use them to your advantage to prove a point, but he's still Justin Herbert. He's still able to do amazing stuff. He just had another off week. Hopefully he doesn't have many more of these because we need him to be good. And that's how this team's going to win. And he needs to be good.
Right. Brandon Staley went on to say from an execution standpoint, there were a lot of drops. There were some untimely protection issues that I didn't like. There were some times where there was a play that should go for a bunch, doesn't. And I think our players and our coaches need to execute better as a group. And also wanted to say where we are at 5-4, we're fighting, it seems, every week. It seems like every week we are fighting to find that rhythm and timing. It's not there yet, and we're just not there yet. I think our record is reflective of that. So, I mean, it's funny because like it does feel like execution. Like it just feels like, they're not completing the passes, or we're not like that one almost interception from Tavon Campbell, like right at the beginning of the game. Like it just like went right through his fingertips. And it was just like, man, like that could have been
even
immediate.
Derwin James had a
Derwin
pick
James
in the end zone that he dropped.
Well, and also in that one, God, and I'm sorry I hate to bring up all the negative shit, but like I couldn't believe it. That one where James and Gilman just like plowed into each other in the end zone that ended up being that Vikings
and then
touchdown.
He gets his arm hit and it floats into the end zone for a touchdown. Yeah.
Right. Had Derwin not collided with Alohi, that would have been a completely different outcome. So it's execution. And we keep saying it every week that it's execution, or these are all things that can get cleaned up.
It goes back to the Cowboys game, guys. Like
I know
we had how many illegal man downfield and
illegal
false
shifts.
starts, illegal shifts. It's like, if we could just play a clean game, we could beat anyone in the NFL.
Right.
I know that for fact.
Right.
So I really hope that it gets cleaned up here quick, and we can start rolling. I mean, you don't have to get hot until the end of the year. Look at the Eagles when they won the Super Bowl. They were very mediocre, and then they got hot at the right time, and they ended up winning. No one would have said in week 10, "Oh yeah, that's the Super Bowl favorite."
Right.
Like you got to get hot at the right time. We got to start to get hot here and start executing on some of these things.
Well, it's good that Staley's at least recognizing that we got to get better at execution, and hopefully that becomes a point of focus for these guys during training.
I think it's an interesting thing. I was talking to my dad during the game, and he's got a lot of good sayings, but he basically said that, we can beat anyone, but right now anyone can beat us. Like that's the problem. We can still beat anyone. There's some teams that shouldn't beat us. Like we should not lose to the Vikings. We shouldn't lose to some of these teams. So as soon as we can clean that part up, we're still beating everyone. I think that's just the way, what we're capable of doing. So
we're capable of it, but we've got to actually do it.
We're still, there's still time. We're still above 500.
On Sunday, a great team could show up or a crap team could show up. We don't know what Charger team's going to show up.
Right.
Yeah. But the potential's there. That's what makes it frustrating.
Right.
Let's see. Talking to Justin and the post-game presser about the loss. Justin said, that's the NFL. You obviously want to win every game, but it's not going to happen like that. It's all about reacting to this adversity. It's obviously tough to lose, especially after a week we had last week. Now it's all about the preparation we are to have for this week to watch the film and get better from it.
Yep. Not much else you can say.
Yep. Absolutely.
Got to watch it, get better.
They also talked to Linval Joseph on the future, and he said, I just know that when things get rolling and once everything lines up properly, we are going to be a hard team to beat. We've shown spurts of offense, explosive scoring in 5 to 6 plays, throwing bombs down the field. We've just got to put it all together at the same time. Once we start playing complete games, that's when people will fully respect us.
It's crazy. D. Lyman is even noticing, like, we're not throwing the ball downfield,
Yeah.
Right. And I vividly remember I don't remember what it was called. It was that every other week documentary that we're filming of ourselves.
All in.
Yeah, All In. One of the first episodes was Coach Staley talking to the team at training camp. And he was like, we're going to throw the ball downfield. And that was like one of his emphasis in addressing the whole team.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't what happened? Because it's right now it's just not happening.
Yeah. It's just not lately, just not these past few games. It feels
but it
like
does
ever since
feel
Cleveland.
very much like a Saints Drew Brees offense.
Yeah.
This is what he was all the last end of his career, and why people are like, oh, we need someone with a stronger arm in here to push the ball down the field. I don't know. Like, I know our coaches see it too. So I'm hoping next week when the Steelers come into town, we can push that ball down the field and make some big explosive plays.
Absolutely. Fingers crossed. Looking at other people on Twitter, Daniel Popper mentioned that Justin Herbert now ranks 29th among 34 qualified quarterbacks in air yards per passing attempt at 7.22, according to True Media Sports. So there you go, Kev.
That's where I heard it.
That's the tweet.
That came from Daniel Popper.
That came
My
from
apologies
Daniel
for
Popper.
not crediting
Daniel
my
Ray of
source.
Sunshine Popper. Then Adam Schefter tweeted out, Phillip Rivers, the St. Michael High School football head coach and former NFL quarterback, will be amongst the guests included on tonight's Manning cast on ESPN2. I think he just started to get on while we were recording this, so we haven't really had a chance to see it yet. But
I can't wait.
I can't wait.
Kyle was saying you saw he looked like he was in, like, where was he?
It looked like he was in like his coaching office at his high school.
Is their season like well done?
He's like,
and
there's
over?
a computer in there. I'll go do the Zoom in there with the Mannings.
Yeah, there's a webcam from 2010. I'm sure it works just fine.
Yeah, exactly.
But their season's been long and gone over. But they're
Couple
just
weeks.
he's
Yeah,
getting
couple
ready
weeks.
for next year already.
For sure.
Got to prep. He's always working, always
Start their
thinking.
recruiting.
All right, folks. Well, don't forget to go on over to chargerchat.com. We have a members section on our page, so please feel free to head over there and sign up. And when you grab something from the store, it really helps us out cover the cost of producing the show. So if you feel so inclined, go on over to the store, see what tickles your interest, and pick a little something up for yourself. And Christmas is just around the corner, folks. There's other Charger Chat fans out there that they're going to need a little something. They don't all have everything yet. Okay, just find out what they don't have.
One of my favorite things at the walking through Thunder Alley, I made eye contact, the recognition. My boy pulled up his shirt and there was a Charger Chat shirt. And I was like,
that's so cool.
That's awesome. Love you guys for supporting us like that and buying some swag. We
Did you hand out all your pins?
Pins are gone.
Okay.
Pins are gone.
All right. We are pinless now, folks. So quit asking. All right. Well, now it's time to go on to the next segment. It is Fan Focus. Let's see what fan we have to bring into focus this week.
All right, guys, we're back with another Fan Focus, and we are super pumped to have Steve Dean from Grimsby, Ontario, Canada. What is going on, Steve?
Woo. How are you, Kev? Thanks very much for having us. I really appreciate it. Love the program. Love you and Coach and Wolldog. Honestly, it's just really entertaining, and it's a pleasure to be here with you.
All right, man. It means a lot to us, you saying that. And we appreciate you. And Canada, man, like, how did you become a Charger fan up on the north side?
All right, well, here it is. So we're going to take you back to the early 80s.
Nice.
About 81, 82. So I was 12 or 13, and I remember it very distinctly. So I was watching a game. We were CFL fans at the time, like primarily, right? Like I grew up watching the Hamilton Tide Cats. My dad had seasons tickets, and that's sort of all we were exposed to, right? But as I got a little older, I discovered the NFL and happened to be watching a game between the Chargers and I believe it was the 49ers. And it was one of them back and forth affairs, 49-47, right? We lost, right? But I just remember Dan Fouts and those jerseys, and it just killed me. I just from then on I was a fan, and within a couple of years I just dug right head first into it. So then it's almost 40 years, right?
That's awesome. So yeah, that must be crazy being a fan up in Canada. You know, you guys definitely have your own league up there. But what's the kind of NFL like up in Canada? Is there a big fan base, or do you know any other Charger fans up there?
Okay, so we're about an hour away from Buffalo.
Okay, gotcha.
So you have a lot of Buffalo fans up here, and particularly once the mid 90s. When they started going to all the Super Bowls, right, and losing them, incidentally. But so all the Bills fans came out of the woodwork. But you always have a big Dallas contingency and Pittsburgh, right? But there was no Charger fans. I had one friend who liked them. So no, I had no fellow Charger fans really until fast forward a few years where we'd have to go to the bar. We'd have to go to they'd only be on once or twice a year maybe. And during the old Fouts days, right, when they were a pretty popular team, you might get 2 a year and maybe 3, right? You get a Monday night game, but remember, this is before Thursday night football.
Sure.
This is before Sunday night football, right? So back what I'd have to do then is we had an associate of ours who had a dish. And back then, this is way before everyone had dishes on their homes. This was a big deal. This thing was the size of a goddamn football field, right? So he had this thing anchored on his roof, right? And I would pay him to tape the game for me, and I would drive up after the game, get the tape, and come back and watch it. And that's how I would see a Charger game for growing up, you know.
Wow.
Until the bars. Now then if you remember, well, maybe not, but the bars started showing them, and there wasn't many bars that did this. It was like a local sports bar, right? So me and my friend we'd go down, but before they got popular, you'd be relegated to the smallest screen in the bar, right? And no sound.
Yeah.
Right. And no sound. So now let's fast forward a little bit to about 92, 93, when now we got Junior, right?
Yeah.
And now they're starting to win some games, and lo and behold, you know what happened in '94, right?
Yeah.
So now we're on the screen. Now we're on the big screen, right? And it was just great. And now, you know, you get the odd Charger fan creeping in and coming out of the woodwork, and then it was dark days after that for a lot of years, as you probably know, right? We've had some droughts here in Chargerdom. My God.
Yeah. So I'm curious. So do you have like a room dedicated to your old VHS tapes of all these old games? Do you still have those?
You know what? I was just going through them. I have a room in my business in Stony Creek. I have a loft area, and I was going through my old tapes, and I'm thinking, you know, nowadays with YouTube, I've seen these games like you can catch this old footage on YouTube, in much better video quality than I have, right? So sadly, I don't really go through them much anymore, because you really can find just about anything on the net now, right?
Sure. It's just so cool that you had to tape, like the idea that you had to tape it, go pick it up from your buddy, probably paid him an arm and a leg to do it for you. Like that's just
It was $10 a game.
Then you did it
$10 a game.
How many years did you do this for?
Well, I did this for a good 3 or 4, 3 anyway. And he wasn't even friends of ours. He was an associate, and it's kind of a weird story. So he happened to be a crippled fella, and his parents had bought him this dish and a whole bunch of other video things, right? And he basically, because he really couldn't leave the house much, and he would do this for a couple of different people, but not just football. He would tape shows from Britain for you know, ex-Brits and stuff like that. So we had this little business going, right? So then eventually, like, he'd say to me, well, you know what, I can't really do your game on Sunday because I'm doing a show from Britain, and they're going to pay me $20. And I'm like, oh man, I'm 16 at the time. We don't have another $20 for a game, so we ended up telling him to F off.
Yeah.
But yeah. So that's what. And one thing I want to touch on too is, so say you couldn't see your game. All you got was a small paragraph blurb in a Canadian. It'd be the Toronto Hamilton or Toronto sports paper. And there'd be a little blurb on your game, and you would read that 7 or 8 times, and then you'd get the stats at the back, like there'd be the stats, right? But there was I mean, you maybe get a little bit of highlights, but it was nothing like it is today. The fact that I can watch, and really I haven't missed a game, I'm going to say, you know, other than for maybe a funeral or something, I don't believe I've missed 3 games in 20 years.
Awesome.
I really don't think I have. And because there's no reason to. Between the zone and having the dish and the NFL network. The NFL network is the best thing that happened to humanity since the polio vaccine. It just is. My God.
I love it, dude. Yeah. So let's jump forward a little bit. You know, new team, new coach, new quarterback, a lot of awesome stuff going on. So you've been a fan from the Fouts, through the Breeze, through the Leaf, through the Rivers. You've been through a lot of quarterbacks. So how are you feeling about this team and our quarterback right now?
We just love him. I don't think I've ever been this excited about a player since junior. This kid has got it, man. He's just fun to watch. Now, funny, I'm not as optimistic about things, you know, as you three are.
It's hard to compete with us on our optimism.
Wow. You guys are some optimistic fellas, I'll tell you. Because we've seen so many devastating losses over the years. Like that Marlon McCree, like I'm still not over it.
Sure.
Like I remember as if it was last week when that happened. And you just think that, well, this can't be happening. And then you just go numb to this kind of shit.
Yeah.
Like you remember even a few years ago, all those losses we'd have, like, in the last seconds, like where you're afraid to, like, whoa, like you're afraid to do that because you know you're going to get spanked and slapped, and reality is going to set in. It just, oh my God. But I think we're definitely on the road. Like we're definitely on the road, and I think we can make a splash this year for sure.
Yeah.
But geez, I'm a little worried about our run defense, and
sure.
Let's be honest, and well, we'll see how it goes, but I'm loving the team, and I'm loving the coach.
Yeah,
I'm loving the coach, and let's go for it. Go for it. I'm okay with it. I love it. Like that. How many years did we have 4th and 1 at the 50 and he's punting
all the time?
4th and 1 at the 50. And they end up getting the ball because our special teams are shit.
Yeah.
So they end up getting the ball at the 45.
Yeah.
And
Why not go for it?
Why don't you just go for it, you son of a... oh, man. Yeah. If I had gone many years, the TV, I would have pulled an Elvis on the TV. So, how many times, Reed? Like, my God.
Yeah, I feel you, man. There's definitely, it's, nice to see these kind of last minute wins that we're getting. We're not like caving in on ourselves. We're controlling the ball at the end of games. It's not the panic that would set in for the Lynn era of football when we'd get in the fourth quarter. So it's definitely feels different.
100%. It's night and day. It's night and day. I'm optimistic for the future. As far as this season goes, I think we could, like I said, I think we'll make the playoffs, and I think we could make the splash. And you see what happens when Buffalo gets beat. We've seen Tennessee get beat by the Jets.
Sure.
So why couldn't we go on a run? And there's no reason to believe it couldn't happen.
Yeah. It's wide open, in my opinion. The NFL is wide open this year. There's no like perennial team that's like, they're going to make it, so don't worry about it. It feels like an even playing field this year.
Yes. Yeah. So yeah, we're ecstatic, and it's fun. See, back in the day, you had none of these programs to watch. So now you can go on, you can watch Charger Chat and listen to like-minded people that are talking about something that you love, and doing it with entertainment, bringing a different slant to it, right? With Will Dog and his crazy
his voices,
zaniness and his impersonations, and yourself with these kind of interviews, and you're meeting other fans, and the coach. I mean, the coach is bringing the shit. Yeah. Right. Yeah. You guys are just fantastic. It's real pleasure.
Well, we really appreciate you. Really appreciate your time, Steve. And let's try and do this again, man. We'll check back in with you at some point, near the end of the season, because I want to know how it's going up there in Canada, and how you guys are doing.
That'd be great. And anytime, just send me a message, and we'd be happy to come on with you again. Got to give a quick shout out to a couple of people, if you'll indulge me.
Hit it.
I'm in a football group, a fellow that I've known for 1,000 years, Garney, and his boys, Zach and Evan, and they have a sort of a special needs fella that's in the group, Dave, and we're in this football group that we all kind of give each other shit. And,
I love it,
and it's just a lot of fun. And I have to give a shout out to those fellas, and I'll thank you again for having me.
No, shout out to the boys, and yeah, man, we'll talk to you again.
Great. Good talking to you, Kev. Thanks again.
Our pleasure.
Bye-bye.
My God, Steve.
Like, I have the same feeling, dude. I can't, like being a Chargers fan at the end of these games is heart attack inducing.
And what a way to actually have to watch the games, have somebody record it for you. You're paying $10 to record it, get the tape, and then take it home to watch it. Like,
we are so spoiled. It's crazy.
Yeah,
like
we
what fans
absolutely
had to do back in the day is like, that's how you create diehard fans, when you're willing to go jump through all the hoops to do that. And
not
I'm like
whiny Magoos that just sit here. Like, I didn't like that press conference after the game that I got to watch right away.
Exactly.
I didn't like that social media post that they.
But then Steve's over here just looking at his paper, reading the one paragraph 15 times,
5 times,
living
it
the
puts it into
excitement.
perspective.
Yeah.
Puts it in perspective for sure. But it was great meeting him. He's a funny guy.
Oh,
and
he's got a lot of good energy, Steve.
Yeah, we'll definitely meet up with him again. He's a great dude.
That was awesome. Thank you for coming on and talking to my man. All right. Well, now it's time to go on to the next segment. You know him, you love him. It's the Craig Experience.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Ooh.
Come on in, man. Kick your feet up.
Oh.
Craig Experience.
Hello there.
Make yourself at home. Got some stuff to talk about, right? Moving on. Games like this past week's are precisely the reason why I subscribe to the mantra any given Sunday. You can't look at a schedule and just start tallying off W's. Particularly if your team is inconsistent from week to week. And you also have to keep in mind that the opposition isn't just going to show up and lay down. probably setting yourself up for a little bit of disappointment if you go about things that way. But we got to talk about what happened on Sunday and then move forward. But in the midst of that, we'll find some positives because that's what we do, right? So, CC gang. Big salute to the rest of the Bolt fam. What's going on? It's your guy Craig in Texas, and welcome to another edition of the Craig Experience. So 2 weeks ago against the Eagles, if the team felt more connected, as Coach Staley said, then Sunday versus the Vikings had to be the definition of detached and disjointed. So let's just talk about kind of where this all falls in line. Offensively, I've actually been asking for this for weeks now, and Coach mentioned it in his post-game presser. There needs to be some more tempo offensively. They were utilizing it very well earlier in the year, and it seems that they've gotten away from it, and I'm not exactly sure why. I think that helps in multiple ways, but particularly against these teams that have some of the top-tier defensive coordinators in the league, or, upper crust of the defensive-minded head coaches. Guys like the Ravens with Wink Martindale and, Captain Curmudgeon, Bill Belichick, over with the Patriots, and, Mike Zimmer with the Vikings. And next week, you got Mike Tomlin. What this does is, with defenses that are attacking or play an attacking style of defense, or are very multiple in the way that they come at you, and they do a lot of window dressing at the line of scrimmage pre-snap, if you're up-tempo, they have to come out and play more disciplined brand of ball, and there's a lot less time for them to kind of, decide to do things like bluff blitzes, move some coverages around, alter their defensive line, and it puts you in a more advantageous situation. And it gives Herbert some opportunity to just come to the line and get some plays fired off. And it keeps him having from, sitting there and deciphering what's going on pre-snap and throwing off maybe a couple of his reads or making him second guess himself after the snap. I'm not sure why more of this isn't happening. Hopefully that changes over the course of the next few games, hopefully next week, because I think it'll be a very good idea and it'll help him perform to the level that we're accustomed to seeing him play, more so than not. There's another part of the game that just kind of chaps my hide because I'm a former wide receiver. And so when I see it, it's like nails on a chalkboard for me, huge pet peeve. And that is when wide receivers attempt to trap balls as opposed to catching it with their hands. So when I say trapping balls, it's literally like creating a cradle and allowing the ball to hit your bicep, your shoulder, your chest, essentially making first contact with another body part prior to it hitting your hands. You saw Mike Will fall victim to that on a slant that probably would have resulted in a touchdown. You've seen a couple drops from Keenan because he does that a lot more often than what I would like. But the good thing about Keenan is he's really good on second contact, which when I say that, I mean the ball makes contact with another part of his body and he kind of catches it on the ricochet. What I was always taught as a wide receiver and what I always coach kids to do is you have to catch the ball with your hands, but not just your hands. And there's a particular way that you want to do it. You want to create more of a web here. And if you can see the tip of the ball, you want to try to put that tip in between that web. But you also don't want the ball to hit your palms first. You want to get your fingers on the ball first and then cradle it with your palms to secure a catch. So when I see the cradling thing happen, it just kind of, I have to wipe my eyes a little bit because I start seeing red, and it typically doesn't turn out well. And we're not even going to talk about Jalen Guyton because he kind of drops everything. So, not getting into that. We also still need a vertical threat in this team, not just one that can get deep, but one that can create in the short area. We have what we have on the team, so that's not really going to change. That's not who Jalen Guyton is. He's a deep guy, but in a straight line. He doesn't have short area quicks. He's not super explosive. We've gone over that a million times, so we're not going to retread it. Defensively, I'm not going to put a ton of this on the defense because they spent a lot of time on the field because the offense wasn't able to get into any real rhythm or groove. when you look at that time of possession, it was pretty nasty. And if you put your defense in a scenario where they're on the field for that many snaps, then some stuff's probably going to go wrong, whether it be from exhaustion or miscommunication. There's just more opportunities for things to not pan out. And so I have to put this more on the offense than anything. You know, of course, there were some communication lapses. We saw that situation where there was a conversion on third down. Chris Harris kind of threw a fit mid-play because Alohi Gilman didn't get that he was supposed to switch off and take that section of the field, or there was going to be a pass off of that wide receiver to him. They were yielding big plays in key moments. We're not going to go over that 3rd and 20 because I still haven't gotten over it. And again, going into this game, the team had been best in the league in 3rd and long situations, and that didn't look like the case on Sunday. So that's got to get tightened up moving forward. But again, better offense helps to alleviate some of those issues. I'm questioning some of the decision-making offensively. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to go back to this, but as far as Joshua Kelly getting snaps unnecessarily, Larry Roundtree and Austin Eckler were doing just fine. I don't get why there needed to be or why there was a need felt to insert him, force feed him into the game. As we all saw, he missed on a crucial blitz pickup, which I considered to be the turning point of the game. But, you know, it is what it is. So let's talk about the goods. Kaiser White, excellent performance. And he needs to be re-signed come this offseason. He's made a complete transformation in a new scheme. He fits it to a T. Dude plays with his hair on fire. We're talking about tackles for losses, coverage. He's doing it all. Chinna maybe played his best game as a Charger. So let's see if that continues on moving forward. I would love to see that. ASJ is creating his own 5'10", 180-pound island on one side of the field, and QBs aren't really testing him. He's found a way to kind of combat being smaller when he's going against larger receivers by, if he can't meet them at the catch point, what he does is as they're securing the ball, he rips it out. Beautiful technique. I love seeing it every time he does it. So he's only going to get better. And the run defense only gave up 103 yards on the ground, so can't blame that this week. So fellas, as far as my question goes, it's just something that I've been thinking. Whether it's realistic or not kind of depends on whether or not the offense can pull it together consistently. If I'm the Chargers, my primary goal every game is to find a way to get at least a 9-point lead for as many stretches of these games as possible, and force teams that lean on their ground game to kind of air the ball out a lot more than what they would like to. This is kind of twofold. It helps out your poor run defense by simply having them defend it less. And it also stops opposing teams from dominating time of possession and forcing the Bulls to, play tight offense where they feel like they're under pressure to put up 7 virtually every time they get out on the field. So playing with two score leads is probably, in my opinion, their best option moving forward. Of course, with the way things are currently constructed and the way they've been going, much easier said than done. Just my personal opinion, though. So we'd love to see what you guys think about that. Also, if you guys have been following me on Twitter, you kind of see like these random tweets that I put out that you probably don't think make any sense about the deck and a number of days. Well, by the time you see this, the deck in 3 days. Just follow it. You'll see what it's about. No big deal. Just keep your eyes out. Should be fun, though. Anywho, y'all know what it is. Bowl gang and on bang. See y'all next week. Let's get through this. Move on to Pittsburgh. Got to keep the train rolling. Okay? Love you. Bye.
Well, Craig, those are awesome points as always. Thank you for bringing it on the brother. Craig experience. All stuff that really needs to get better, and good to sing the praises of the people that are doing good. I know it's tough sometimes for us to be shamelessly positive after a loss, but there really are good things to take away from this game. And
there were some highlights.
There are some highlights to take away from this, as much as hard as it might be to think that there are some highlights. There really are some good things to take away. But to answer your question, I think basically the idea is that, and correct me if I'm wrong, but it sounds like you just want the game plan should be to score early, get that lead early, and then basically try to maintain it, especially when it gets time to that fourth quarter, which, yeah, I mean, I'm all for that.
I think if the defense is on the field for less, I think this defense is going to get better. We just need to have the ball. I think scoring first and often is a great way to win a football game. But I don't know specifically how they're going to do that unless, this offense is taking more chances in the first quarter, first half.
Yeah, I do think that we're built as an offense to, if we get a lead, I think we can extend it and keep our foot on the gas. Like we've seen that. When we have a lead at the end of the game, we're able to hold the ball, run the clock out, and win the game. So yeah, that's obviously what we prefer. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I'm excited to see what coach does. I still have faith in the team. The guy has the ability to win games. So hopefully we can turn around and start stacking some W's.
Big time.
And like you mentioned, there were some improvements. There are some places that we got better. So
yeah,
if you're seeing
defense, overall much better last
considerably
week.
better. Yeah. And again, like this is also a week. I mean, we don't have Drew Tranquil. We still don't have Mike Davis back. And for some reason, I'm actually kind of curious about this, why Nasir Adderley was on the inactive list. Do you guys know any reason behind that?
I didn't catch fully what happened. It was kind of
he was on the injury report early in the week, and they just said he was sore because of the previous.
They're giving him some time because he was sore. But yeah, I don't know. That could have been a difference maker in the secondary.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like, I mean, we're playing with backups still on the defense, but the defense still did really well. I mean, there was just those couple little mistakes.
We can't use that excuse because Minnesota had a bunch of backups in, like a bunch, and they still took it to us and beat us.
Well, I mean, that's been a Chargers issue for forever, that the backups are not quite, I mean, just nowhere near where the first string guys are, which, that is what it is. You can't expect to have all first string guys on all 54 positions. So it's just, or is it 52? 54, 52? How many states? 52. How many weeks in a year? I can't remember. Anyways.
The math.
Math. So, all right. Well, thank you, Craig, as always, for coming on and doing the Craig experience. And we'll all have to keep an eye out for
the deck. I know what this is.
Deck.
I have an idea what this is, and it's exciting.
Well, we'll all have to keep an eye on it. Go check out Craig on Twitter and follow him, and maybe you'll find out before I do. I don't know, but thank you as always, Craig. And now it is time to go on to the next segment. It is Ask Boltfam. Let's get some smiles.
Time to put your money where your mouth is.
Hi, guys.
Go jam a thumb up his butthole. That's what you do.
I wet myself in excitement.
Oh, so hungry.
Your thoughts are totally appreciated.
Catch you later, dude.
Okay, love you, boy.
All right. Well, a lot of you guys came in to Ask Boltfam. Hopefully the tears are at a minimum. Let's start this off with Jeremy, a.k.a. Jeremy Nash.
Certified fresh.
That's the question. Oh, Chargers, why do you hurt my corazón? A la una en domingo is not a good time for siesta. Ahora este triste. Okay, love you, bye.
Explain that voice. That's a funny one.
So he wanted a voice that's from the old Looney Tunes, and it was Speedy Gonzalez's cousin, Slowpoke Rodriguez. One of my favorites. So
that was well done. Yeah, it's not a party. It wasn't fun.
It wasn't a good time, but
no parties.
Hopefully, you can die happy now that I attempted Slowpoke Rodriguez.
But you know what was fun? Tailgating. That was a good time.
Yes.
Hell of a time.
Hell of a time.
So much hope and expectation and anticipation. Good thing you don't tailgate after a game.
Right? The forced tailgating.
You get over here and you do your squats. Can you imagine someone trying to get you to do a squat after that ass kicking?
After you lose?
You probably got a lot more drink sales, though.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Thank you, Jeremy. And let's move it on now to Belltown Bolts fan, who asked the question.
Certified fresh. Don't
Don't even awkward pause me.
No awkward pauses.
I'm not going to
there.
awkward pause you this one. This one's certified.
Someone mentioned Speedy Gonzalez's cousin in the comments for a voice impression. This would be dope, dudes. Tough loss, but this is still a team with many holes. And my week isn't ruined. Love the direction. Shamelessly positive. K, love you, bye. Many holes.
Back to back slowpoke.
Oh, they liked it so much. I figured I'd give it.
I love
give
that.
it twice.
They're rolling on each other in the comments.
Yeah,
Like, hell yeah, it's slowpoke it, bro. Oh, good time.
Slowpoke for the win. So keep it shamelessly positive, Belltown Bolts fan. We need it. We need it now more than ever.
I have a question. Is there ever a time when there's not a hole in a roster? Like, can you have a fully complete, no like concern roster?
I mean, you see the Rams trying to do
You
that.
can ask the Rams.
And then the Rams just
look
get
like
pounded.
dog crap. Yeah.
Dude, they look like shit after
Yeah.
Von Miller and that OBJ signing. Like hot shit.
Yeah, and you think, Tampa Bay picks up all their talent and now
lose to
they just
Washington.
lose to Washington. So I don't know that there isn't a team that doesn't have holes.
Right. You just have to find ways to cover them up.
Right.
Put over the little fake floor so you can't see them. And if somebody trips into it, shoot, they found us,
Oh, damn it.
But you got to find ways
Found us.
you got to camouflage those holes a little bit so people don't, it's not glaring.
Yeah. Some straw.
Yeah.
Something under it. Hopefully there's
Put a
not
nice
leaves,
Persian
spikes.
rug down so nobody can
Yeah.
see it.
Exactly.
All right. Well, Belltown Bolts fan, thank you for popping in. And now we
you.
move it on to House of Hain, who asked the question. This just in. The Chargers are not ready. They need a few more pieces on the defense and O-line. We can still win the division. We are so close. K, love you, bye. Stay positive.
Love it.
Love it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a
we can
great
still win
positive
this.
outlook.
Yeah.
Well,
We're on the right track. We got a lot of great players. We all know there's holes in the roster,
Right.
but we can still win the division. And if we get hot at the right time, I think we could still compete in the playoffs.
Absolutely. Yeah.
100%. And you've seen us have good defensive performances, good offensive performances.
If we put your
an
hands together,
average special team performance.
We could all just come together as one.
you could put your hands
triangle.
together.
Synergy.
Yeah.
Synergistic gameplay. That's all we're looking for. Yes. Church steeple people. Yes. I don't know
Oh
what
my
that
God.
is.
Everything just popped. That's only supposed to be done in middle school, I guess.
Yep.
Give me
Not
one
what
of
it
these
used to be.
business.
Yeah. That's a good
one of
one.
these.
There you go. All right.
Or one of
How's-
these open the diapers.
Oh,
You know
God.
those where you like go in there
That's
and
a
you like,
nightmare.
Yeah. Take a peek.
look in.
Anyways, House of Hain, thank you.
You know that reference. That was some
I
high school
absolutely
shit
know
right
that
there.
reference.
Yeah, everybody knows. Come on.
All right, let's move on now to Brian Taylor, who asked the question. How about that new kick, man? Can't love you, bye.
It's dude. It was sitting
Very
behind.
nice.
Very
He kicked them
nice.
down the middle. Very good. Like
Yes.
he's just on the money. He's
Yeah.
it's refreshing.
It's
There's
cool.
people, there were Charger fans behind me at the game, like, oh God, every time we went to kick, I don't think they had fully come to terms with how decent
It's
Dustin
going to
is.
take a
It's
little
going
while.
to take a while.
There's still some battered and
I'm
bruised
still
people.
very much like, oh, don't do this.
I love that.
Coach, just go for it.
Yeah,
But
I think
he's a good kick, man.
I think we still
He's a
take
good kick man.
breaths, but the breaths just get shorter. We're not taking like
Right.
It was
Yeah.
just
It's like a
all right. There you go, Brian. Thank you for making the
Thanks, man.
observation in question. Let's move it on now to 33 Cheese Balls, who asked the
Hey.
question.
Rough loss this past Sunday, so I won't focus on the past.
Instead, I'll give a hypothetical. If you could go back in time to the 2004 draft, would you select Ben Roethlisberger knowing that he would win one Super Bowl with the Chargers, or select Rivers knowing that he wouldn't win any, but would still electrify a Chargers fan base?
No way. I'll take
Phil all day.
All day.
No. Yeah.
Ben's just a joke.
Yeah. Then no. Just no. I'll take Phil. Take Phil all day long.
I do like the hypotheticals. We are fans of hypotheticals.
Absolutely. No, it's a great hypothetical. I mean, because it is. It makes you have to make a decision.
A Super Bowl.
It is a Super Bowl. But I mean,
That means LT would have got his Super Bowl.
Nope. I'm happy with the history we've got.
You're making me think about it a little more now.
No, well, we wouldn't have the history that we would have. I don't know that we would even start this podcast if that was the situation. So no.
If there were no Phil, it's hard to say.
Yeah,
I know. Phil was kind of a glue.
He was a glue. He brought a lot of people together and gave us a history. I mean, I love this jersey. I wouldn't give this jersey up for anything. So. Yeah, so there you go, 33 cheese balls. We're still sticking with Phil. Thank you for asking the question.
Adam just stopped us like any further conversation
No.
Stop.
We all made our point.
Phil.
We all said Phil.
I'm not going to hear it. I'm not having it.
Yeah.
I'm not listening to this.
Let's move it on. Let's move it on to JJ Boltfam 19.
Certified free.
Who asked the question?
Lots of 3rd and longs for the defense, but I only remember one pressure look late in the 4th. Any idea why this wasn't part of the game plan against the Vikings?
I think it had a lot to do with the 3rd and longs. Like in the beginning of the game, we had them pinned back. We could go. We could get a lot more pressure. And then as the game went on, I don't know what was happening, honestly, with those like 3rd and 15s. Like what the hell happened there? Maybe that's what he's referring to, but
I don't know. I mean, we've been so good in the secondary and in not like completely shutting down the pass, but being better at pass protection than run defense, that it almost felt flip-flop this game, that our pass defense, and I don't know if it's because of the not having Mike Davis and not having Nasir Adderley, if that was two big contributors to not being that great. But yeah, it was really frustrating. It was a really opposite ass game for us this last game. Don't know why.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't look at the exact number of pressure, like extra men that we brought in pressure.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what the exact numbers were. But if it felt less, it probably was less, or they just weren't getting there. So that's an issue too.
They might have been gassed. I mean, if they're out there for 36 minutes, they might have been freaking tired. Yeah. It's hard to bring the pressure that late in the game, but we'll see. But Coach will probably take a look at that, and maybe we'll see that on the next episode. But JJ Boltfam, thank you for asking the question.
Thanks for joining us.
And thanks for joining us. Let's move it on now to Nick, who asked the question. Oi, oi, oi. They should call the Minnesota's receiver Thomas Jefferson because he governed game of the footballs. Many problems with our team yesterday. I might write about it to Pamela Anderson in next love letter. But we must dwell on the things that get me excited. I felt the big, sweaty bull rush Rabosa come alive a bit more for the sackings, and as always, am keeping close, enjoyable eye on big sweat man Slater in the replay movie film. It's nice. I very much like touchdown to the ball holder, Mr. Austin's. The Herbert gives it to him, a thread in the needle. Or throwing the grape at the rowboat, as Mr. Winking said. I no longer have the pulsation in anus from the kick, man. He deserve all the sexy time that coming his way. I like. Comrades, we must still believe and steadily do not lose hope, or Cousin Bila will feed you to the platypuses. In charge as we trust. Very well, I have big affection for you. Goodbye.
Oh, Nick.
Cute.
He is the reason for the kick man. Like, you know, it's become a thing. Nick is the kick man.
He's the OG
kick man.
Kick man originator, yes.
So props where props are due.
Absolutely. But yeah, I got to focus on the positives of what was good. And yeah, that ball that he threw to Austin, that was just like, it's like when you watch a movie and there's like a ship in space and it's got to like fly through this like closing door. And they're like, I don't know if we're going to make it, man. And then the door closes and the ball gets through, or the ship gets through. That's what it felt like when he threw the ball to Eckler. It was like you saw these two guys coming in on it. And you're just like, oh no, I don't know if he's going to make it. And boom, it just hits her.
And the best part about it is those two defensive players hit each other.
Oh,
like
sure.
straight on, like helmet to helmet. Like, oh wow, like slight concussion on that one. That was enjoyable.
Big time. Yeah. So
very nice.
It was very nice. So yeah, Nick, thank you for reminding us about the positives. We always appreciate it. Let's move it on now to Senior Snappy, who asked the question. Hagen, you completed the Charger challenge like a barbarian, but then you sip the Yacht Tart recovery beverage like a debutante. Is it time to increase the resistance to 50 pounds? Would bigger overhead squats help the Chargers receivers handle their balls? Yay!
It's hard not to drink his cocktail with a pinky out. It's like multi-layered and beautifully colored. It would be doing it a disservice. Yeah, you can up that shit. I'll do 50 pounds. I ain't scared. Let's go. Sign me up.
Oh my God.
Front squat.
Well, do you think that would help the Chargers receivers handle the balls a little bit better if they get some kettlebell squats going?
Maybe some Arnold presses. I feel like they would
I feel like Coach Lynn has some of those, like, what are those dolls, those voodoo dolls where you like when someone is about to catch the ball, he like rips their fingers back or something like that. There's just there's no explanation for some of these drops. It's just
just right through the fingers. I don't know.
Maybe more kettlebell squats. Hit them up.
There's certain games too where it's like kind of infectious. Like it starts happening and then other teammates start doing it. It's not like the one player having a bad game. It's like, yeah, maybe we'll give this to everybody.
Oh, we should all drop it. Yeah, let's all do it. You ain't cool if you catch a pass.
You ain't cool as you catch a pass.
Yeah, if peeing in your pants is cool,
right?
Consider me Miles Davis.
Miles Davis. Oh shit!
All right. So yeah, there's got to be some maybe finger exercise or something that they can do, Senior Snappy. But good to know Kevin sipped his beverage so delicately.
And don't leave out the part where I fucking hammered those squats, because that was also in there. And
apparently he did.
The only thing I heard was the sissy sipping.
And a shotgun of beer and won the shotgun, and then I had this little cocktail. So it was. I'm not kidding. That was fantastic.
It sounds like all that Senior Snappy remembers was the sissy sipping.
Kevin's trying to focus on the positive.
Made the most delicious nachos.
They are delicious. I highly recommend. Yes,
I guess they were a little different than the ones you had. But
oh, really?
Yeah, it was a nice slow cooked meat. It was delicious.
Very nice. Very nice. So
nice.
Thank you, Senior Snappy, for giving us the 411 on Kevin's drinking ability. Let's move it on now to JDM 2118, who asked the question. What's up, f***ers? A little late, but yo, what the fuck is going on? This team is good, homies, but that game was like the team just bent over and let the Vikings right in the rear end. Let's get this shit together. F***, bro. So frustrating. Shit. F***. God.
Oh, God.
Yeah, it's frustrating.
It is frustrating, yes.
It's very frustrating.
Yeah, it did feel that way, but yeah, let's get this shit together.
We are a good team. We are a good team. It is there. It's just, I still have hope. We're one game out from leading the AFC West, so
right.
Let's keep our heads down.
I mean, I think we are a good team. It's just every time we talk about it, like these little things that got to get fixed. Just fix it. Just stop doing it. Yeah, just do the thing you're supposed to do. That's all I'm asking you to do. I'm not asking for the world. But thank you, JDM 2118, for asking the question. Let's move it on now to Russ Morrow, who asked the question. Do you guys think we should have gone for some of the fourth downs in the fourth quarter instead of punting when we were only down 7? I thought it was unsteady of the head coach. Baby! Baby.
I went back and
I like that phrase.
So I went back and looked, and the only time we only had the ball 4 times in the second half.
Mm-hmm.
And
is that it?
Yeah. The first time we scored, the second time
fuck?
we had it, we were up 17-13. And we punted after 5 plays. It was 4th and 13. So when we were at our own 14. So that's an obvious punt. The next time we had the ball, we were down 20-17. And we had the ball 4th and 7 at our own 28. So that is an obvious punt. And then the next time we had the ball, we scored. We kicked the field goal. So I think the one time that was debatable on do you go for it on 4th down was that last time we had the ball, where we decided to kick the field goal and make it 27-20. But I think, and I heard Coach in the post game talk about it. You take the points, right?
Right.
If you don't get that, it's game over. It's not like, oh, let's be aggressive. That's game over. You need 2 scores no matter what. You take the field goal, and then if you get the ball back, you score a touchdown, you be aggressive and go for 2 and win the game.
Exactly.
So I completely agree with kicking the field goal there. You have to get the ball back regardless.
Right.
You need 2 scores. So you get the score that you can, that's money that Hopkins is going to get you, and then you go back and try to score, and then you be aggressive with the 2 points. So yeah, I don't think any of the going for it on 4th was out of character in this game.
Right.
Well, I think that's a good point. Like in those previous games when we were going like crazy on 4th down and potentially, field goal range, it's because we didn't have a lot, Coach didn't clearly have a lot of faith and trust in the kicker.
Right.
And now that he has a kicker and he has the faith, it's a different decision. So I think that's him being a good
I forgot
coach.
what word he meant. He mentioned something like probability of score or probability of points or something like that in his post game.
Something analytical.
Sounds like math.
Something analytical where it's like the probability of points was so high we needed to take the points and we could go score and get 2 on the next possession because we had to score twice anyways.
Right.
Yeah.
If it was that situation, if it was 20-7, then
we go for it.
We would
no matter
absolutely
what.
go for it.
If it was a 7-point game, we go for it no matter what. If it was an 8-point game, I think he still goes for it.
Yeah,
if it's a 1-score
sure.
game, he's for sure going for it there. We needed 2 scores no matter what. So there's no way around it. You might as well kick the field goal, get the points, and then you have to go stop them. And we just didn't.
Couldn't do it, unfortunately. But Ross, thank you for asking the question. Moving on now to 619 Shaggy, who asked the question. Which player has been your biggest surprise and biggest disappointment, Tillery excluded, after 10 weeks?
No Tillery, huh? Very specific.
I think Jalen Guyton has been my biggest disappointment. He just hasn't done anything.
Yeah.
We really thought he'd be that number 3 guy that was going to have a big year, and he's just kind of been a blip, like just on the team. He hasn't done anything whatsoever.
I think the biggest surprise for me, and the thing that makes me like one of the happier things, is that Pipkins has not been activated in at least 3 weeks.
There you go.
That is a surprise. That is a negative fucking take. I'm going to own that right now.
Sure.
But there is something very like, I've been raising my hand like, Coach, please don't let this man in the football game. And he hasn't let him in like 3 or 4 weeks. So that's
I think my biggest surprise has been our tight end room. The completeness of it, right? McKitty's even getting in there now. Anderson has been a huge shock. Parham is having a good year. Sorry, I had to pronounce it right.
It's good. Nope, you got it.
But they're all, I think the whole tight end room in general is playing at a really high level. And I thought Hunter Henry being gone was going to be a real blow for our offense.
I think I give my biggest disappointment has got to be the volcano. I was so pumped on like new kicker. Let's fucking party.
You loved the nickname too.
Of course.
I love the nickname. I love the nickname almost more than the player, honestly. And when you come up with something you think's pretty great and it doesn't pan out, it just sucks.
It just sucks.
Yeah.
Back to the drawing board.
That's like That's like when he came up with Money Badger, and he at least had a good year. But yes, that
had to take a withdrawal on that.
Had to.
No more money left in that account.
Absolutely.
Except for now, he's on the Colts and he's kicking everything. But who's to say?
But whatever. Yeah, I think for me, getting Dustin Hopkins, like that's been the biggest surprise, because we've been grasping at kicker straws for so long. It was just like this didn't feel like a sure thing, and it honestly still doesn't, but it feels more sure than the past 2 or 3 years of kickers that we've had. So it's just like, okay, we're getting a little bit more back on firm ground. So that's been a surprise and disappointment. I think the biggest disappointment is not seeing Fehoko out there as much. I keep seeing him on the sidelines because, hard not to recognize that big bushy beard that he's got right now. He must be doing No Shave November. And it's just, I want to see him out there. Like and obviously like they're not putting him in for a reason, but it's that, like we mentioned last week, like where you're more a fan of the player than you are of their playing, like, like Forrest Merrill, like we would love to see Forrest Merrill back out there, but it's like, obviously he's not playing for a reason. So,
right.
Those are disappointments, not against them, just like, man, I wish I could see those guys. Cause I'm dying to see his sack dance. Yeah. I just want to see his sack dance. That's all. 619 Shaggy, thank you for asking the question. Let's move on now to Tweet Me Up Scotty, who asked the question. Anybody notice refs in this game? It seemed like every other play needed a huddle, then another huddle to make sure they got the right call, then another huddle after that to make sure the second huddle was the right call for the first huddle. Like, make up your freaking minds.
Yeah, it was bizarre.
It was.
They didn't know what they were doing.
Really weird.
Yeah.
But the Vikings had more penalty yards than us, so I mean, they called it both ways. It was just bizarre and kind of slowed down the game, and
it did slow down the game. Yeah, there was a lot of flags getting thrown.
Because it felt like we had more, but we were only 7 penalties for 52 yards, and they were 10 penalties for 118.
But that's 17 penalties in one game. I don't know. That seems like a lot.
They wanted to participate. They wanted that trophy. Those referees really wanted to get that participation trophy and really stand out and make a difference in the game.
My mom's recording this game.
Most penalties in the week for the NFL, they're gonna get a little bit of research done by the league. Like, why are these guys throwing so many penalties? So hopefully they see that Justin Jefferson taunt.
I mean, you hope so. We'll find out. But tweet me up, Scotty.
Quick shout out for Scotty. He's starring in a play that starts this Friday.
Starring?
He is Gaston from Beauty and the Beast. So I saw him at the game. Wanted to shout that out. It's in Orange County, I believe. So
wow.
Go follow Scott Rydelski. And if you're a play person, you like to go see them plays.
If you like some musicals,
this is the one. And he's tall, so I think he'll be a good Gaston.
Awesome. Well, yeah. Scott Rydelski, good luck to you, buddy. Break a leg.
Yeah, good luck, man. Yeah. Friday night. Kick some ass. What do you say? Break a leg.
Break a leg. That's the actor.
Kick some ass.
Wait, I was like, football? No, this is different.
No.
Break a leg.
Break some ass.
No. Yeah.
Break some ass.
Thank you, Scott. Let's move on now to Blonded Surfer, who asked the question. A terrible game indeed. The defense cracked at points, but they held up just enough to give the offense multiple opportunities to score points. That final drive before the half ended dictated how the game was going to go. That drive had to end in at least 3 points. The defense forced a 3-and-out and allowed the offense to have exceptional field position with the help of Roberts' return. Near the 52 timeouts in 1 minute, yet the O sputtered once again. It was 3rd and 6, and the play seemed to be designed for Cook on an out. Yes, Herbert threw a bad ball, but when you have Mike, Keenan, Eckler, shit, even Parham and Anderson, why the hell was Cook the one to get the ball on such a pivotal 3rd down? We should have ended the first half tied at the very least. I think Lombardi's deserving of true criticism of his play calling with this team. It almost feels like he doesn't know how to utilize every talent that we have. Why is Herbert being used like he's an immobile, weak-armed Drew Brees? Where are the 10 to 20-yard pass design plays? Why are so many of his throws short of the sticks? Lombardi's shown great moments, but recently he seems like he's trying to take care of Herbert like they did with Brees. He's Justin fucking Herbert. Let him loose and help him the fuck out already by allowing him to do what he does best. My apologies for this long-ass text. This loss just really bummed me out. Yeah.
Same Blonded Surfer, same, dude.
I mean, I don't know. Tell me if I'm wrong, Kyle. Like, how often is a play designed where it's like, I only want you to throw to this one person?
No, never. That's very rare. In the NFL, I don't know if it ever is. In high school, yeah. In high school, there's time, but even in a Hail Mary, there's multiple options you're throwing to.
Right.
You get to look survey, decide who you want to go to, and go to them. And that would be my only rebuttal is go back and watch Game Pass from that end zone view. See if there are routes deep, and Herbert's the one choosing to throw underneath. We don't know if it's actually play design or player decision. You know, like, are there deep routes? And Herbert's like, no, I don't want to throw that. I'm going to throw here. Maybe that's the case. Maybe that's just what defenses are giving us, and he's trying to be smart and not take a lot of chances. And maybe that needs to be coaching instead of play calling adjustment of, Justin, you need to start letting it go, man. You just need to start being yourself, letting that thing loose. It's okay if it's a pick. A pick on third down is a deep punt if you're throwing the ball 40 yards downfield. Let it rip, and let's take some chances.
For sure.
Yeah, hard to tell exactly what it is. I feel you, though, Blonded Surfer. It feels like there's got to be something, and we don't want to put the fault on Herbert, but it's just like, if the option is for him to make the decision on who he's going to throw it to, like, that might be part of the issue. I don't know. I'm not saying Herbert's a bad QB by any stretch of the imagination, but if he's getting pressured as often as he is, or if these guys keep dropping the balls like they are, like, I'm sure he's probably a little gun shy to throw the ball sometimes, or to make those risks when he's like, fuck, they're just not going to catch it. Like, they're going to drop it, or something is going to not go right. But I don't know, man. It is what it is, Blonded Surfer. But hey, we appreciate you every week. Let's move it on now to Daniel Llewellyn, who asked the question.
Okay. So, like, riddle me this, Batman. Like, what's 5'11", 212 pounds, and terrible at blocking assignments? Okay, I'll tell you. It's the worst running back in the league, Joshua Smelly. It's like totally time to cut him loose, muchachos. Que later on, dude.
Joshua Smelly.
Wow.
Yeah, he blew a big block on, where was that? Was it later in the game, I believe?
I'm trying to remember, but he did blow a block, yeah.
It was a big one that it resulted in a sack. It was something bad. So I don't know. He's not getting the carries. It's looking like our Missouri boys getting, Roundtree's getting most,
at least
of
getting
these,
the goal line takes, yeah.
I was surprised that I feel like Austin might have gotten hurt or something, but he wasn't out there for when he usually is. So
because Austin's got some pretty big jump, big leap too. But it was good to see Roundtree have that big leap as well. But worst running back in the league? I mean, come on, man. It's a little harsh there, Daniel. I could probably find
I don't know. He's a running back 3, guys.
Right.
Like, running back 4 in reality, because we love Justin Jackson. So I really do think Josh Kelly's running back 4. So it's like, if he's playing, it's just, you're not going to get great stuff out of him. You hope it's not like we saw.
Right.
But yeah, he very likely could get cut very quickly. He's running back 4 on the depth chart. It's not, you're not making big bucks. You're not really stable on the roster. He's not active every week.
Right.
It's just,
but if he's out there, he's out there for a reason.
He needs to do better. 100%.
Yeah. Especially pass blocking. Like, don't be a liability, man. Just
don't get Justin Hurts.
Don't do that. I mean, and hey, at least he's not Melvin Gordon fumbling the ball and letting him run it back for a touchdown.
Yeah. Oh my God. Like, what is wrong with that man?
Wait, I missed it. What happened?
Melvin Gordon
fumbled on Sunday, and they returned it for a touchdown.
And it was Slay from the Eagles that picked it up and ran it back for a touchdown. So,
oh my God.
73 yards or something back for a touchdown.
Something crazy. So,
see, when you go to games, sometimes you don't see the NFL ticket, you don't see the red zone, you don't get to laugh at Melvin Gordon.
Have a little shot in Freud. But Daniel, always good to hear from you, buddy. Let's move it on to Agent Rivers, who asked the question. Ooh.
By order of the fucking Peaky Blinders, mate, I'd like to call out Coach Kyle today because I know he will disagree with this and try to excuse him, but Lombardi's starting to look like a very conservative play caller. What's up with all these short passes, eh? I see people saying it looks like Lombardi still thinks he is Drew Brees at his quarterback. Well, he doesn't. He's got motherfucking Justin Herbert in his hands, and he's fumbling his second year. Let's open up the field. Herbert's far from the noodle-on QB Breeze was. This play calling is ridiculous. Lombardi's wasting Herbert's second year. Don't believe me? Look at this next-gen stat sheet that shows all these damn dinks and dunks. It's annoying, mate. Coach Kyle, how is this excusable? Convince me that Lombardi's doing the right thing with Cannon Arm Herbie, because I'm 100% confident he's not. I'm just asking for his head. I'm not asking for his head. Excuse me. I'm not asking for his head. I'm just arguing that he's wasting the talent we have. Lions fans look to be right. Lombardi has such a boring game plan with another rocket arm QB named Stafford. Seems to me he hasn't made a single adjustment since then. I'm mad, eh? Tommy, where's the whiskey?
Woo.
Coach.
Yeah,
he's convinced, but try and unconvince him.
No. I had some ideas for what I was going to do for the Friday episode for Coach's Corner, but what I'll do is I'll look at all of our pass plays and I'll look where there's a deep option. If there's a deep option, and if Justin just chose not to go to it, because you can't blame play calling if there's deep options and Justin doesn't throw it.
Mm-hmm.
If he's choosing the check downs, then he's choosing the check downs. Now, coach may be telling him, "Hey, look for the check down," but at the end of the day, he's the one pulling the trigger. And if the playbook's there to go deep and he's choosing to go underneath, I don't know how you blame that on play calling. So I will look. It may be the case. I'm, as a fan, I'm frustrated about it too. I think Justin has Justin has the best deep ball arm in the NFL. We see it time and time again when we let it go. I would rather see an incomplete deep ball pass than a drop pass for 3 yards. So that's what I'll do for Coach's Corner on Friday. So Agent Rivers, stick around, come back on Friday, look at it, watch our episode, because I'll look at some of the routes that we're running and see if the deep ones are there, and we're just not going to them.
All right. Well, there you go, Agent Rivers. Kyle's going to break it all down for you.
Challenge
come back on Friday.
Player 2 has entered the game.
All right. Let's move on now to Efren Abarca, who asked the question.
Hello, muchachos. Seems a lot of folks out there talking about Lombardi not dialing up the right plays because we're not seeing the deep throws enough. You know, like in Madden. But I think defense has been taking away some of the deep throws, and when they've been there, either Herbo hasn't hit them or O-line just doesn't hold on long enough. Maybe both. Maybe Coach has to do another breakdown. Well, come on back Friday there, Efren. He's going to bring it on down for you. We're going through some growing pains, fam, but remember, tough times don't last. Tough people do. We're coming, Boltfam. Just be patient. Bolt up.
I love
well
that.
Timed.
Tough times don't last. Tough people do.
That's right.
I love that, Efren. Let's go. I'm all fired up. Let's go. I'm ready.
I'm tough.
I'm tough.
Yeah.
I'm tougher than tough times.
Yeah.
I'll
Sunday,
I'll drink my drink with
sissy
snappy.
Yeah, so there you go, Efren. I think Coach is going to break down some of these plays.
Good timing.
So
that worked out.
Great timing on the questions there. So come back on Friday, Efren. We'll see what we've got. Let's move it on now to Okie Doggy, who asked the question.
Hot damn! I'm tired of this shit. Now this team better focus the fuck up. Yes, the defense has problems, but there are moments where they got to stop. But our offense just stalls as they didn't read the script. Only I get to do that shit because the script reads me. If you want me to do something, then you better spit that shit out, man. Now going back to the offense, if we aren't getting called for a penalty, then we are either dropping passes, not protecting our runners, or QB, bad play calls, and or Air Bear not having a good day each week. This offense should be able to put up close to or even over 30 points a game. It is almost as insulting as that time Al Pacino tried insulting a national treasure in Crocodile Dundee. Now, what do you maggots think needs to happen for our offense to actually put points on the board from the offense at a consistent rate? Should Palmer get more looks? Do we just throw it more than usual? Will Bulaga be back at all? And if so, will he be good enough? Will Justin stop throwing every ball like Randy motherfucking Johnson? Will Mike Dub go back to that time he outplayed the Rams and Chiefs? Will Lombardi be reminded of his time with the Lions with Stafford and what not to do? Because I don't recognize this team at all. I'm saying this because I know who I am. I'm the dude asking a dude to voice a dude who is playing a dude disguised as another dude. They the dude that don't know what dude they are. And why am I still in character? I don't know why. I know why. I don't have to tell you, but I will anyway. Man, I don't drop character till I've done a DVD commentary.
I'm gonna go watch Tropic Thunder now. I love that movie. That was
I'm
good,
the
Adam.
dude playing the dude disguised as another dude.
That is such an underrated movie. I love that movie.
That's so funny. Oh God. There's a lot going on in here, Oki.
Yes. Oki, you always have a lot to unpack.
I think
You have some good insights, though. It feels
No,
like
no.
you could go on a rant,
Oh.
man. Maybe you're our podcaster we need to hear from. I feel like there's something in there, Okie Doggy.
There you go.
It's the what is what's wrong with the offense? One, you can't drop balls. That's obvious.
That's huge. That changes everything.
I do. Well, Kevin has something to say.
No, I'm waiting for 2. I'm going to be your
Oh,
handmaid.
This
I
is
thought you were like,
usually, hang on.
Excuse me, I have something to say.
This is
done.
number 1.
Yeah.
I'm keeping tally for you.
All right, it's keeping score.
Well, now I got.
So
you
number 1,
interrupted
don't
me.
drop balls.
Number
Don't
1,
drop balls,
don't drop
number
balls. Number 2, I hate to be. I don't know if I believe this, but I feel like I do. I feel like we need to be a pass first, run complementary offense. I still feel like we're running the ball to try to set up the pass. I feel like first downs sometimes when we're forcing run plays when we don't need to. I think we need to be throwing the ball and then allowing the run to develop based on
Still there. Sorry, Adam made me laugh. I was just kind of putting my hand down, and then Adam started laughing. I'm so sorry, Kyle. I'll stop.
if
This
you're
is
gonna
good
go
insight. I
numbers,
apologize.
if you're the number
I'm
guy,
really
be the number guy.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm
That's
sorry.
your
You
identity.
bailed on the numbers.
I'm
Don't
sticking.
drop the numbers.
All right, I'm sticking.
Speech is done, dude.
Speech.
Just shut
Is
down.
done, dude. Yeah.
Sorry, dude. I didn't
You
mean.
wrecked the
I wasn't
speech, dude.
trying to distract. No, keep going. Come on. There's got to
I
be a
don't have a
third.
3. I don't have a 3.
All right, 2.
All right, 2 solid
Sorry,
points
Kyle.
from
I didn't mean to
Kyle
do
the
that
coach.
to you.
Kyle, give me 2. All right. Yeah, you made a lot of
Sorry,
good points
dude.
there, Okie Doggy. I think really it's just like, what is our identity?
Yeah.
You know,
what are we? Are we a running team? Are we a passing team? Are we
Yeah.
physical?
Because
are
the
we
identity of what we
finesse?
are now-
deep ball? Are we short? I don't know.
Right. It's different. It seems to be different from week to week, which
Yeah.
on one hand, you could say that's good because the other team doesn't
Matchups.
know what's going to be.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, it ain't working. So we
Gotta
gotta
execute.
make it work.
The best teams
think
have
exec-
identity, like
Right.
the Ravens. Like you know who they are, and they still show up and punch you in the mouth and beat you.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Got to have an identity, and I don't really know what ours is right now.
Yeah. They're the team playing the team disguised as another
Disguised
team.
as another team.
Yes.
There you
Think we
go.
have our title.
That's the
Okie
answer.
Doggy, thank you for making this excellent observations. I love it.
That was good, man.
All right, let's move it on now to Senora Snappy, who asked the question.
Queen of nachos.
That's right.
She's badass.
Hoo-ha! Would you rather look like a fool while throwing a shoe and receive a 15-yard penalty for unsportsmanlike conduct, or pity the fools who looked like clapping gators chanting scrolls? Hoo-ha! Okay, love you, bye.
Dude, they were
They did look
blowing.
stupid.
They were blowing it. And not only were they doing it,
No, here's the problem. The stadium wasn't making the noise, so there's no way for them to be together. It looked
No.
like, let's all try to do it together. Ready? Go. This is what it looked like.
it sounded worse and it looked worse than that. Like not
God.
only that, these guys, I don't know what it was. They decided to do this right when the Zebras were having meetings. There was nothing to get fired up about. There was absolutely nothing. They picked the
They were
worst
bored.
times. And it was all over the place. Like everyone thought. I walked by one guy on the way to the stadium. He's like, "We really showed up, guys. We really showed up, guys." Like, no, you didn't. I saw the video from last time where you took over our little
Yeah.
stadium. There, you showed
did.
up. It was.
Yeah.
I thought we had more. We were louder at times when they were on offense than they were against
Sure.
us when we were on offense.
I saw plenty of times Kirk Cousins was holding his hand up on the helmet.
And he was crouching down in the middle of the
Yeah.
huddle so he could talk to the guys. They
Yeah.
could hear him.
Exactly. We were loud
Yeah.
as shit. It was so fun. We were louder there than we were at the Dallas game. So I think, even though we're not, winning all these games, the fans are still showing up. So
Mhm.
those guys, stupid.
It is. Yeah. I'm curious. What was the people around you? Were there more Charger fans, more Viking
Charger
fans
fans, a
in
whole
your
bunch.
immediate area? Good.
It was all Charger fans.
Good.
There was one. Okay, so there was one guy next to me that we ended up just sliding down 2 seats because he brought his girlfriend and him had never been to a football game before. and they were cheering and not knowing what they were talking about, but he was explaining to her how football worked when he doesn't know how football works. And I was just sitting there like, oh my God, kill me. Get me out of here. Get me out of here. I couldn't. I was like, oh my God, I got to interrupt this. Like, that's not how a first down works, sweetheart. That's not how that happens. So, yeah.
That's funny.
So it was uneducated Vikings fans and a whole bunch of drunk, happy Charger fans.
Good to hear. Thank you, Senor Snappy, for asking the question. Yeah, I mean, would you rather? I'll pity the fools, I guess, that look like clapping gators. I'll pity them.
I'll pity because they're foolish.
They are pitiful. Let's move it on to shamelessly positive Ryan, who asked the question. Tough loss to the Vikes. Believe me, I wanted nothing more than to quiet the Vikes fan base about the Offensive Rookie of the Year award talks. I know a loss can be just as emotional as a win, but one of the hardest parts of a loss is looking at the overreactions on social media. Can you gents please give your insight or advice to quick trigger fans out there and how to be more positive? The sky isn't falling. Staley is still the head coach. No one outside of the organization knew the details of the trade deadline, and Herbert is still my QB. Okay, love you, bye.
It's good. I actually had something to try for a week. This may not be a good recommendation, but something to try. If what you're about to post you heard on the broadcast, don't do it. Just don't do that post. Like, we all heard it on the broadcast. You don't have to say it. Basically, if you have a very unique take on something that isn't, everyone's saying it, try that. Do just for a week, and we'll see what kind of insight and things we hear. Because I want to hear the things people think we can get better at. I'm tired of hearing the same talking points that we heard on the broadcast, just regurgitated over and over again. So maybe that, I'm not saying that you're bad for doing that. I'm just saying maybe for a week, try to think outside the box a little bit, just a little bit.
Or just just have it be your thought.
Be negative.
If you've got a thought,
if you want to be
you're
fucking negative, be negative as shit. But be negative as shit with your own unique take.
There you go. Yeah, it's worth a shot.
I have an idea for a week.
If you don't have something nice, don't say it at all.
Golden rule. I just feel like give it a week. Try what it feels like to not post negative bull crap all week. You're probably going to be more excited for Sunday and in a better mood throughout the week. It's just like, golly. I tried to tweet some optimistic outlook on the game right after the game happened, almost in a way to cheer myself up. And then it immediately, boom, boom, two people like, oh yeah, well, our offense sucked too, and our play calling sucked,
and you look
our
fat in those jeans.
Yeah, and I'm just like, God, all right, bye. I'm done here. This sucks. I don't know. It's just not fun. That's not fun. It's not fun. I want to have fun with the Chargers. It's not fun.
Yeah. We're all about having fun, and a fun shouldn't be completely related to winning the game. Like, you can still have fun. Like, we're having fun right now. We fucking lost that game. So, I mean, there are positive things to look at, but I mean, just more importantly, try to have fun. You'll live longer. Thank you, shamelessly positive, Ryan.
At the end of the day, none of us have any influence on wins or losses.
None whatsoever.
We wish we did.
I try to wear the right underwear. It doesn't seem to help. So I'm trying. I'm sorry.
No underwear. We'll
there you go. We'll try no underwear next week.
Commando.
That's the next step.
Commando, folks.
Underwear
we'll see.
Captain
And you know that if we win, it will be Commando from here on out. Free balling. All right. Shamelessly positive, Ryan. Thank you for asking the question. Let's move it on to Mr. Bill 541. Who asked the question?
If you had to get rid of one of our tight ends, who would you choose and why? Okay, love you, bye.
This is kind of a tough question. It seemed obvious. Oh,
sorry. What voice was that?
He wanted Harvey Firestein. He was
He was in Mrs. Doubtfire and he was in Independence Day. He's like, oh, crap.
Okay, it rang a bell, and I was like, "Who was that?" I need to know. Okay,
I mean,
sorry,
that's what I remember from. He's also done voice work as well, but yeah,
I know exactly.
Harvey Firestein. Oh, God.
Sorry, Kyle.
All right, which tight end to get rid of if you had to?
There's a lot that goes into it, right?
Yeah,
because Cook is on a 1-year deal. He's only going to be here for that long.
Mm-hmm.
I think the obvious answer of productivity right now is Trey McKitty because he just hasn't done enough.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what have you done for me lately?
Mm-hmm.
But if you're looking as a GM for the future of the team, I think maybe it's Cook. I don't know. Like, he's a good player, but he's only got 9 games left on a contract.
Right.
And these other guys have proven that they can get the job done too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I kind of lean towards Cook as well, and for not for a lack of productivity, because
he's just going to be really expensive. He costs a lot more than all those other guys combined.
Right.
There's a lot of stuff that goes on. Obviously, we like him, but to answer the question, that's probably what I would say.
I mean, really, like you said last week, it feels like he was the bridge for our tight ends. Right. He's the veteran presence that, is getting these guys up and running. But like, how long do you need that veteran presence if, these guys can still go out there?
Forced to get rid of one right now.
Yeah.
The thing is, it's a good position group. It's one of the better ones we have on this team. So it's tough because you're going to give away production somewhere. I think the easy one would be the rookie that's played, in his second or third game.
Yeah.
Because then the coaches too, because he's not always activated. So it's a good problem to have. Like, just stop dropping balls, Cook. We got this.
Absolutely. Mr. Bill 541, thank you for asking the question.
That was certified fresh.
I gave you like so many pauses. All right, let's move it on to Danny Lags, who asked the question. Can't really do this voice, but Charlie Day. It's kind of higher pitched, right?
Yeah.
Hey, Young Bucks. It was tough watching everything go down in person yesterday. It looked like we weren't playing gritty football. Also, the disrespect from Jefferson throwing the ball to Slayer. Sheesh. What has to be fixed to stop some Steelers next week?
Wild card.
Yeah, what do we what's up, folks? Sorry, my CD was skipping there.
Today, Junior.
I was trying to think, trying to incorporate, because everybody saw that the Steelers just got their first tie of the season for everybody.
Very
in the
impressive,
league, which was impressive against the Detroit Lions. So, but we know that we just can't look at that team and go easy win, layup. Just can't do that no more. So, I don't know what they're
hit Ben Roethlisberger if he's playing.
If he's playing, we don't know if
he's playing.
Roethlisberger will be playing.
Oldest man, he is underthrowing people. He is.
We have kick man. They have old man.
Old man. Old man and kick man. Old man, take a look at your balls. They don't go that far.
Stop. I think we just need to execute. I don't think any big overhaul needs to happen. We need to take a couple shots downfield on offense and execute. Catch balls, no penalties, clean it up, and we're good. Totally. I don't know. It's just that simple.
Justin have a good game, and we don't let them run all over us. Najee Harris is a good running
Harris.
back. So
right,
Najee Harris.
No,
Najee.
No R.
I was right.
Yeah, Najee.
Okay, sorry. Najee Harris. He's a good running back. So keep him, and then old man, make him take a look at his life.
Make him retire. Wouldn't that be sick if we retired Ben Roethlisberger?
Right. We made that one
halftime
retire halfway through a game. If you can make a quarterback retire halfway through a game, jeez.
That would make my life.
Joey Bosa, just eat. Let's get your 4-sack game. Just
that would be amazing.
It would be delicious. It would be
Jakey.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Danny Lags, for asking the question. Let's move it on now to our last question. Salty Sports Guy.
Yeah.
Who asks,
I'm glad you guys posted this late, because right after the game, I would have been shamelessly pessimistic. After sleeping on it, I'm less of a negative Nwosu and more of a positive Parham. Instead of asking the easy questions, I'm asking the tough ones. Is it too early for Christmas? Ooh, yeah.
The positive Parham. Yes, it's too early for Christmas.
We just had this conversation, Kyle. Was it Thanksgiving? You can't.
Okay.
Don't put anything out until after Thanksgiving.
Fair enough.
You just ruin Christmas if it's too long. It's not special. It's just like
I don't want to walk into a grocery store and hear jingle bells on November 10th, which was
dude.
Yeah.
Before Halloween, I went to like a Home Depot and there was Christmas decorations. I'm like, I'm still feeling spooky right now.
Right.
I'm feeling spooky, and I am not.
Spooky season.
It is spooky season. I don't need to see any snowy trees.
I need to go from spooky to thankful, then Christmas. Not you jumped over thankful.
I can't go from spooky to merry. Come on.
Yeah, come on. There's a middle.
Get
it's the
bridge. We need our
covered
cook,
in turkey.
Our cook of tight ends has to be the Thanksgiving.
Right. Yeah.
Yes.
You can't just
come on.
Yeah. You need the cook.
Yeah.
Bridge the gap. All right. Salty Sports Guy, thank you for asking the tough questions. And thank you, everybody within Ask Boltfam, for asking always great questions and always great scripts. Always, really, this is the best part. This is the fun
100%
of this episode and getting out and, of tough losses. So thank you guys for helping us get through it as much as we help you get through it. All right. Well, before we get out of the episode, got some Bolt predictions to make. So, guys, what are your Bolt predictions for the Pittsburgh Steelers game, which is Sunday night, by the way? And who is going to that game?
You and it's Coach.
Ooh, who are you taking with you?
Yeah, it's almost my wife's birthday, so I'm taking my wife, and it's also her twin sister's birthday, so I'm going with my wife and my sister-in-law.
There you go.
Yeah,
All right.
That checks out. That makes sense.
That'll be a good group.
Fun.
So
yeah, you get
Sunday
to meet
night,
if you get to meet the twins, if you get to meet the twins in Thunder Alley, you're lucky because they are
awesome.
They are
hell of
awesome.
a time.
They're a hoot. They're a
hoot and a holler.
Yeah.
Should be a real fun game. So yeah, keep an eye out for Coach. He'll be walking around Thunder Alley, and be sure to get them all liquored up because I'm sure the twins will take care of them just fine. But Bolt predictions, what do we got, guys?
Kev, go ahead.
I'll go first. I think we're gonna win. Obvi.
You think?
31-21 Chargers win. And we have 3 Bosa sacks on old man.
Nice.
Roethlisberger.
Very
all right,
good.
Bulldog, what do you got?
I'm going to say 28-17 Chargers, Obvi. And I'm going to say Keenan Allen gets 2 touchdowns.
Nice.
Okay. That was a long pause for that one.
Well, I try to think of something like super duper creative and like outside the box, and it's just like, there's no room for that right now. We just need a win. We got to win.
Yeah. We're not here for a good time.
Yeah.
We're here for wins.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. I'm going to go odd score. I don't know why. I'm just feeling it. 27-23 Chargers, Obs. And here's my bold prediction. No dropped balls.
No,
not one. None.
Yeah. See,
zero.
Coach has always got great bold predictions. He's always just like, he's swinging for the fences. Balls, That's good.
27-23. I can't, until the Chargers prove they could score 30 points, I can't give them any more 30-point predictions in these things. I always go high and I'm so off.
Yeah. All right. Well, there you go, folks. Bolt predictions in the books. Episode in the books. That is it for us this week at Charger Chat. Tune in Friday for a breakdown from Coach. But until then, don't forget to bolt up because we're ready for any squad, any place.
Okay, love you. Bye.
Okay, love you. Bye.
Okay, love you. Bye.
A dude playing a dude playing another dude.
Disguised as another dude.
Thanksgiving.
And now, a word from our sponsors.
Oh no! Did you get pulled over for speeding and the cop won't let you off with a warning? Call taunting. Arguing with your fiance about where to spend your honeymoon and they just won't agree with you? Call taunting. Are you out on a date night and you don't think it's going to work out? Call taunting. That's right. Call 1-800-TAUNTING to get you out of any situation. Our trained professionals will walk you through every situation, no matter how complicated, and make sure you get what you want. Call 1-800-TAUNTING. Too many letters in that phone number? Sounds like taunting to me. 1-800-TAUNTING. Your get out of jail free card that everyone hates.